What's up, everybody? If you didn't see it on Twitter, Wuthering Waves showed that we're getting a 5-star selector on release. And I just wanted to make a video explaining what character I would recommend selecting for the 5-star selector. Now first, let me make a preface. A, pick whatever character you like. You don't gotta follow meta, do whatever you want. I don't really think, for Wuthering Waves at least, you don't really gotta be a meta cuck to do well in this game. And secondly, your choices will change based off of who you get in the Novice Convene. The reason being is that the Novice Convene only costs 40 pulls to get a 5-star unit. So I recommend doing that first before selecting what 5-star character you're going to get from the Beginner Convene. So I'm going to start from at least what I believe is going to be the most meta pick for 5-star units, which is going to be Verina. Verina is going to be a disgustingly OP support for a very long time in Wuthering Waves until we get somebody that's better. The reason being is her ult and her outro skill. Her ult will heal all of the units around her, as well as deal damage to enemies and apply a debuff mark onto them. This debuff mark, when hit by a different unit, so let's say you swap Verina into Jianxin as an example, Verina will do a coordinated attack on that same unit, and Jianxin will get healed for attacking that unit that has a debuff mark. This is going to be the best because it makes your team's really flexible and gives you a lot of extra damage in your rotations. On top of this, her outro skill gives a 30% attack buff for the entire team, which is going to boost your DPS by a shitload compared to a lot of other units. Now, another great meta unit that I think is going to be useful is Jianxin. The reason being is that Jianxin's ult is like a Venti ult if you played Genshin Impact before. It sucks up all the enemies into a central location and lets you use other units that have great AoE damage, like Xia or Calcharo. These are the two meta units that I think are going to make your teams way stronger than before. And in my opinion, if you want to play slightly meta, I would select getting one of them, hopefully from either the Novice Convene banner, or from the Selector, and then a DPS that you like from the 5-star pool. Now let's go over some of the less meta options, starting with Calcharo. Calcharo is an Electro Broadblade unit that mainly plays as either an energy battery for the team or a main DPS. The reason being is that after using his skill, you will get an enhanced heavy attack that generates extra ult energy and concerto energy. As well, his ult does the same thing, except after completing a basic attack combo, he will have a new enhanced basic attack that generates a larger amount of ult energy and concerto energy. This extra energy generation lets him be very flexible, as he could just be a unit that stays on field for a very long time, with his ult always being off cooldown, or somebody that you can swap in, do a bunch of damage, and then swap out fast, seeing as though you build up so much concerto energy. Now on the complete opposite side, we have Lingyang. He's a Glacial Gauntlet DPS that wants to stay on the field as long as possible. The reason being is his Forte circuit. He enters a buff state called Striding Lion State. The way he enters this is by doing a plunging attack with full Lion Spirit. The Lion Spirit is a resource specific to Lingyang that can only be generated through using his basic attack combo strings. This lets him deal in a bunch of extra damage, changes up his basic attack combo and how his skill works, as well as at the end of the Lion state, he will gain Concerto energy, which will let him swap out to a support so that he can get his buffs reapplicated and swap back in. And lastly, we have Encore. She is a Fusion Element Rectifier user that can be played as a main DPS or a quick swap character. And what I mean by quick swap is Encore's skill is able to knock down normal sized enemies, meaning that you can swap to her, knock down the group, and then swap back for some free CC. Secondly is her Resource Dissonance, which is gained by dealing damage with Encore, and it's used by her heavy attack, which consumes the entire dissonance bar that puts Encore in a long casting animation and gives her a damage mitigation buff while casting. As well, you can swap to a different character during this time, allowing you to continue DPSing the mobs around her. And once Encore finishes casting, she'll deal a large amount of ult damage and an AoE around the target that she hits. But this is not the only way to play Encore, as I said, as her ult enhances her autos and lets you deal a large amount of damage while on field, and still lets you end your combo with that enhanced heavy attack, which sets you up perfectly to swap to support units to reapply buffs or debuffs. This will also increase the damage of that enhanced heavy attack nuke. And because of how long that animation is, you'll have ample time to play other units and get a good setup to continue your rotation, making it a pretty comfortable character. Now, for what I'm going to choose on the Beginner's Convene banner is obviously going to be dependent on what I get from the Novice Convene banner. The two 5-stars that I'm looking for specifically are Calcharo and Jianxin. I think it's going to be a pretty comfortable comp, seeing as though Jianxin groups everybody together. Calcharo can do a bunch of small AoE damage, so it's going to be a really fun comp that kills everything pretty fast. Now, if I don't get Jianxin or Calcharo from the novice Convene banner, this is going to change, of course. Though I know for sure there's one unit I'm not choosing, which is Verina. The main reason is her gameplay reminds me a lot of how Genshin Impact plays, which is you swap to a unit, you use either their skill, ult, or both, and then you swap off that unit. And that's mainly what you're going to be doing with Verina, since she's playing as a healer slash damage support. And I really just don't enjoy that. I'd like to play on my units for longer. It's the reason why they're on my teams in the first place. But to each their own, you know. Now, if you're unlucky and you don't really get the two characters you want from the Novice Banner and the Beginner Select, you can always reroll. And if you need help figuring out how to reroll for Wuthering Waves specifically, I made a video and the link to that is in the description below. Or if you want to watch me bitch, scream, cry, and maul because I didn't get the characters I want on Novice Convene Banner, you can watch that live on twitch.tv/vantage_val on May 22nd at 4 p.m. CST while I play the release of Wuthering Waves. But other than that, if you guys enjoyed the video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more Wuthering Waves content. Peace.